Only on 7 News, certified organic. It's the label to look for when you're spending extra money on produce. But 7 News discovering that stamp of approval may not really assure you it's pesticide-free. Always investigating, 7 News reporter Amanda Kost found the government's done nothing about it for more than 2 decades.
Apples, bell peppers.
Organics have grown.
Carrots, pears.
Into a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I feel like it's a better health option.
But you might be surprised to know there are no studies that say organic foods are in fact healthier.
I think they taste more fresh.
Shoppers willing to pay 20 to 30% more for organic.
I'd rather be safe anyway and just put something that doesn't have pesticides in my body.
By definition, organic does not mean chemical-free.
Will Sumner has been a chemist for more than 35 years.
It just means that they're grown without the use of synthetic pesticides and fertilizers.
He tests produce for the government.
Now, that doesn't mean that they're not toxic.
But we wouldn't necessarily know. The Organic Foods Production Act of 1990 requires the Department of Agriculture to test organic produce and oversee third-party certifiers worldwide. Oversight of all organic growers who wish to get the USDA stamp of approval. But we found for 22 years now that mandated routine testing hasn't happened. Miles McAvoy heads the program for the USDA.
Congress indicated that certifiers should be doing periodic residue testing, and that had never been established.
The Inspector General did this audit in 2010. That's when McAvoy found out his agency never set up any testing procedures as required by law. So we did. 7 News joined 10 of our Scripps sister stations across the country buying a wide variety of imported organic produce from different stores, each station purchasing different products. In Denver, we bought cucumbers, red bell peppers, and many sweet peppers. Each sample from across the country was then shipped overnight to Sumner's certified lab in California. The lab tested 33 different types of imported organic produce for us. Our results, 12% had pesticide residues. An additional 10% had trace amounts, all but one within government standards.
Most of the residues you're going to be finding are not unsafe.
What the lab did find were small amounts of toxins that come from the soil that was sprayed with deadly chemicals like DDT, banned years ago. But more often, the problem is cross-contamination.
There's a lot of different compounds out there, and these are all drifting in different directions.
In addition to conventional pesticides blowing onto organic farms, Sumner says cross-contamination can also happen in the shipping process. All of our organic produce that tested positive for residues came from Mexico. The mini pumpkins, yellow squash, and tomatoes had small amounts of pesticides, small enough that all 3 would be allowed for sale by the USDA.
They can't get rid of all of that, but at least it's a lower amount.
The fresh basil had a fungicide, which Sumner says is not legal for organics, and the FDA would make all retailers pull that product from shelves.
It's actually really surprising to me.
The good news? 22 years later, the government is finally setting up testing. We obtained this memo from McAvoy requiring all third-party certifiers to start testing 5% of operating farms, here and abroad. The goal? To discourage mislabeling, prevent residues, and meet customer expectations.
How well that's implemented overseas, can USDA have the staff over there to make sure it's being run the same? That's the question.
Amanda Kost, 7 News.
That testing is supposed to start this year. You can review studies about organics on our website, thedenverchannel.com, under Top Story.